What a weekend of college football, or should I say Thursday and Friday of college football. But really, it was just a Thursday of college football because I don't know if you would call the Indiana Oregon game an actual game. It was more of like a mauling between a bear and a camper. That's the only kind of analogy I could come up with because it was an absolute bloodbath of a game. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of College Football Under Review, a show made by a football fan for football fans everywhere. Today, we have our college football playoffs semifinals recap episode. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It helps us overall in the channel and lets us know that you enjoy the content and helps us out. But the big thing, the two headlines I have from this weekend. First, it's all about the U. Miami won an absolute barn burner of a fourth quarter game against Ole Miss to punch their ticket to the national championship. First time since they're going since 2002. And the other one, who's your daddy? Indiana just absolutely dominates Oregon. What looks like it could be a historic college football playoff run, season, and just overall magnificent, historic, legendary run in all of college football, or at least all in Indiana football history. This team is already being compared to the 2019 LSU team with Joe Burrow, and it 100% should be. The way they are dominating, the way they are able to win, the way they are able to tactfully just expose every weakness that a team has is beyond anything else on the college football level as of now. Because I'll get into a little bit of the preview against Miami and Indiana, not fully, but I've got some thoughts on it. But outside of that, let's talk about really what's a real barn burner, and that's 38 Hot Tubs. 38 Hot Tubs is a family-owned and American-built business supplying Viking tubs that feature high-quality materials and superior components, ensuring that every aspect of the hot tub is designed to last for years to come. When it comes to relaxation, recovery, and overall well-being, few things compared to the soothing experience of a high-quality hot tub. And for Rob Abel, it's all about helping people improve their health and quality of life. Whether you're an athlete looking for muscle recovery or someone who simply wants to unwind after a long day, soaking in a hot tub can provide numerous benefits. The ideal combination of warm water and hydrotherapy jets can ease tension and lower cortisol levels to help combat anxiety. A hot tub even promotes better blood flow, which leads to better muscle recovery, reduced soreness, and improved flexibility, combined with overall cardiovascular health improvements. Even a nice nighttime soak can improve sleep quality by relaxing the body and mind before bed. So if you're interested in experiencing the therapeutic benefits of a Viking spa, reach out to Rob Abel today. And if you mention this ad to Rob, your journey to relaxation and wellness starts with a $200 discount off one spa and $600 for an order of two. 38 Hot Tubs, whether you're looking for relief from sore muscles, a way to enhance your fitness routine, or simply a place to relax with family and friends, Rob is here to help you find the perfect hot tub to fit your needs. Now, let's take the college football semifinals, recap them, and take them under review. So we're going to start off with, like I said, the game. Miami against Ole Miss in the Fiesta Bowl. Miami outs Ole Miss 31-27 in a phenomenal, fantastical, overall just chaotic fourth quarter. I believe in this game there were about 6 or 7 lead changes in this game, I would have to say, and I think 5 of them came in the fourth quarter. It was back and forth, back and forth. It was a lot of fun to watch. It was kind of the inevitable. I knew it. Both teams had their certain ways of scoring touchdowns and driving the ball, and it was great to see both of them. Ole Miss hitting explosive plays, able to score touchdowns. Miami kind of having the more methodical, thought-out drive with a couple explosive plays here and there. But overall, Miami had the ball last. I felt like it was going to come down to really who had the ball last when we entered this fourth quarter, because both team really started hitting their stride in the second quarter. Because in the first quarter, it seemed like it was all Miami. Miami was really dominant on the defense. They only allowed Ole Miss really one explosive touchdown, which was a 73-yard run by Kewan Lacey. And then Kewan was kind of a little bit in and out, injured. It didn't seem like he was 100%, which really hindered this Ole Miss offense, and especially what they can show for decoys against this strong Miami defense. The Miami defense did great overall. I mean, they held Ole Miss to 27 points. Ole Miss was averaging about 40 points a game in the playoff coming into this game, and Miami was limiting opponents to about around 10 this game. So it was pretty even, I would say, in Ole Miss getting 27. Miami did their job because their offense and Carson Beck, one of the most veteran quarterbacks, showed up in this game. So when we're looking at the first half, it was very close going into halftime. And why was that? It was because Miami, yes, dominated the entire game. They shot themselves in the foot multiple times, whether it was basically the only time they shot themselves in the foot was penalties. They would have a great play, and then they would be set back. They would get a sack, very few of them, but they would be set back, and those immediately turned to third and longs, and those third and longs were unable to be completed, even though they got 11 third downs out of 19. And it looks askew compared to Ole Miss's only 2 third downs out of 10. That's because Miami had the ball for 41 minutes in this game. That's an insane stat. It's exactly what they wanted to do, what you should do when you have an explosive player like Trinidad Chambliss on the other sideline. I thought Trinidad played a great game. Trinidad Chambliss is going to be, I think, a great pick in the draft. I think that he has a lot of potential, but I think a lot of it is raw talent, which could be very deadly if it really is honed in by the right NFL program. But when we get into the second half, it felt like Ole Miss really knew what they wanted to do. They knew how to do it, and they effectively were able to do it against Miami's defense, which really shifted the momentum of the game to not being a Miami dominant game, but it felt even on both sides. Though in the end, they gave Miami about 3 minutes and 6 seconds left to go down and score a touchdown. I personally was not nervous about Miami going down and scoring a touchdown, but in my mind, as they were doing it, I was like, wow, do I want Ole Miss to win this football game? Like, I chose Miami, and I wanted Miami to win. But in the back of my mind, I kept thinking, wow, Ole Miss is a great story. They've played great all game. They've really come back against Miami. And it was kind of the moment of, am I waiting for Mario to Crystal drop the ball? But he didn't. And Carson Beck had the best touchdown of the game, being able to run in, seemingly no one around him. Pete Golding's Ole Miss defense just crumbled on that play. And it leads to a Miami team going to the national championship game. When we're looking at Ole Miss, though, in this game, Ole Miss did great. They did everything they could. They fought to the very bitter end. They did almost give up a lot of interceptions. Miami had about 4 dropped interceptions. But the turnover margins don't matter when you're not getting them, because Ole Miss was able to get one off of Miami in this game. Pete Golding, he did anything and everything he could, I think, to scheme against this Miami offense. Now, the Miami offense, no, it's nothing crazy, but it's veteran filled, except for the running back position. But outside of that, it is full of veterans, and this team knew how to attack this Pete Golding defense, did not stray away from it, which was the big thing, and it continued to work the entire game. For Ole Miss and what their future beholds, it's up in the air. I think that this run with Trinidad Chambliss really gave them some momentum with recruiters, but I don't know how good Pete Golding is going to be as a recruiter. Schematically, he showed us against Georgia that he can win these big games against these top dog programs with the team around him. He didn't drop the ball or he didn't hide in a turtle shell when it came to these playoffs, and especially when it came to the media. I thought he did very well in all of his press conferences. I thought he did very well in handling himself post game. So I think that Ole Miss is in good hands, but I don't know if they're going to be in great hands with him moving forward because, like I said, you're in a new era with NIL and recruiting is huge, but also transferring in. And I'm very interested to see how Pete Golding matures and how this Ole Miss team matures from this strong playoff run this season with a lot of Lane Kiffinites going to Baton Rouge next season. For Miami overall, this is huge for their program. It finally gets the monkey off Cristobal's back that he can win consistently. He can win the big one. And I think that it also gives a testament to how beautiful these 12-team playoffs have become, because Miami was a team that was cast aside, the last team in this playoff, and look at them. They are in the national championship game. It's something beautiful. It's something that should not be overlooked moving forward. And for me, this season and this playoff really has changed my thought process on if the 12-team playoff was good or not. Because Miami has shown to us, yes, this 12-team playoff is legitimate. There's a reason we should move to it because the playing field is level. And that's one big thing that this playoff system has showed us, at least this season. Last season wasn't the same. This season, it felt like anyone could win these games, but there were 2 or 3 that could win it all. So Miami beats Ole Miss in the Fiesta Bowl 31-27. And so that now takes us to the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. The Indiana Hoosiers whoop the Oregon Ducks 56-22. Yes, that's right. You heard it correct. 56-22. This was not much of a game. The first play of the game, 10 seconds into it, Indiana was leading 7-0 after they had a pick six off of the first scramble from the Oregon Ducks offense. When that play happened, I immediately sat back in my couch and said, whoa, this could get ugly. In the first 10 seconds, I knew this could get ugly, and ugly it did. Curt Cignetti did not have a smile on his face until it hit 50 points in the game. That is someone that was definitely in the Saban coaching tree, and yes, he was, and he won a 2009 national championship with Nick Saban. And he's showing us how amazing and what you can do in this new era of college football in just 2 years. It's almost like a video game. It's 2 years, and he brings his team to the national championship playoff game, especially after last season where everyone said that he was a wussy for the Notre Dame game. He got embarrassed. They were frauds. They had an easy schedule. They weren't this. They weren't that. Well, they are this and that this season, and they are this and that this postseason. I think the biggest change I have seen from Indiana is that 3-week break after beating Ohio State in the Big Ten Championship. Ohio State held them to 13 points, which seemingly is fantastic. We should be awarding Ohio State a blue ribbon, a medal, whatever you want, a participation trophy for limiting Indiana's offense on that many points. Because since then, it feels like Indiana has figured out the problems. They have figured out the weaknesses. They've attacked them. They've figured out the coaches that fit where and how they need to work on anything and everything that is in the Indiana football program. And it showed. It has showed tremendously with wins against Alabama and Oregon in not just great fashion, not just amazing fashion, but dominant fashion where they have not allowed their opponent to even breathe before they are already drowning in the football game. Because that's what happened with Oregon. You could tell they were drowning because they had miscues everywhere. They had multiple I believe 4 turnovers in this game, and majority of those weren't even Indiana making great plays. It was Oregon making dumb mistakes, dumb throws. They were just not schematically sound. They didn't have enough reps with their running back as Dante Moore reached back and hit his running back as he was trying to throw the ball. It was just Dan Lanning being Dan Lanning. And there's an interesting thought process too with Dan Lanning. I'm going to divert from Indiana for a second. I think people love Dan Lanning so much. They like his post-game press conference because he seems like he's just taking a key of Coke. He's bringing all this energy. His teams are electric. But when it comes down to crunch time, what has he done? What has he produced? Has he won a Big Ten championship? No. Did he win a Pac-12 championship? No. So why does everyone want to crown Oregon as this great program? I think they all have the ability to be a great program, but they're just not there yet. And Dan Lanning seemingly just can't break through the glass ceiling to be great, but everyone wants to crown him as being great. So why is that? I don't know. Food for thought. But Oregon they had more yards than Indiana. But when we look at it, Oregon was not ready for Indiana. Oregon had, yes, I will say, the younger team. So I expected them to play this way. But I didn't expect them to be a young team that just didn't look prepared. They broke assignments. They did not have I would say their offense played worse than their defense because their defense had they had great coverage over Indiana, but you can't beat a Heisman quarterback making Heisman level passes to his receivers where only his receivers can get the ball. I saw some of the most amazing throws and catches and just chemistry in that ball game I have seen all season. And for Fernando Mendoza, he won the Heisman off of, I think, questionable terms. Now he's showing us that there's no reason he shouldn't have won the Heisman because he is playing at that Heisman caliber level right now. And I am very happy to see that for him for the way he is playing since he has won the Heisman because he's shutting everyone up saying, yeah, you want to see why I won the Heisman? Here's why. I've got more touchdowns in this playoff than I do in completions. That's how perfected that this Indiana offense is playing, how perfected the offense is humming, and the defense was getting pressure on Dante Moore all night. Half of Oregon's sacks all season came from the 2 games against Indiana. Now, I may have discredited Oregon saying that they haven't won anything, but this is still a Power 5 or a Power 4 team in the nation. This is still a team that has millions of dollars in NIL. This is a team full of 5 stars, but young 5 stars, while Indiana is filled with a lot of older veterans that have transferred from JMU, that understand football, that have won on a consistent basis and know how to win on a consistent basis. And when you face that type of team and that type of coach that Cignetti is, you are not going to find yourself in a very pretty spot. So Indiana wins against Oregon in the Peach Bowl, 56-22. When we take a look at this college football playoff, it's been great. It was better than last season. It was so much better than last season. I felt like the games were more intense. People were more in tuned. I felt like the storylines were so much better than last season. And I think it made a lot more sense to have straight seeding in this playoffs, especially with the top 4 buys, though we'll see what they do about the buys in the future. But we really have I think this is going to be a great national championship, maybe in the first quarter, hopefully the first half. We'll see if it lasts all the way to the fourth quarter, if it's good. But I think that this Miami defense will be able to show up against Curt Cignetti's Indiana team. I heard an interesting argument that said if Ohio State can hold Indiana to 13 and Miami was able to handle Ohio State, then we should be able to compete against Indiana. And like I said earlier, discussing about Indiana, they're a different team since that Big Ten championship game. And I don't know how Miami is going to handle that pressure in that team. But we will discuss that further when we do our national championship preview coming, let's see, because the national championship game is January 19th. We will be doing that next weekend, our preview for the national championship game. We will have the set ready for that national championship preview. It's very close, but couldn't unveil it yet. But the new set will be ready for the preview. Just give me one more week, a little bit more patience. But with that, I'm Nick Watts. Thank all of you for tuning in to this episode, and we'll see you next time when we take more college football under review.